This is TWiT.
We have, I don't know if it's bad news, because I really do want this fight. But we have, so I won't say it's bad news, it's news on the government's versus enforceable privacy saga. Now, Sweden's government has scheduled discussions next month of legislation to require communication providers to allow police and security services access to their message content. Not surprisingly, our friend Meredith Whittaker, Signal Foundation's president, immediately responded to this news, saying that Signal will pull out of Sweden if the government there passes such a surveillance bill. In an interview on Swedish National Public Television, SVT, she added that such a backdoor would undermine its entire network and users across the world, not just in Sweden. And as we know, this is the second time Meredith has indicated that Signal would leave a country over its backdoor demands. In 2023, she threatened to leave the UK if the government mandated backdoors in its Online Safety Act. And we all know that these matters are far from settled, and they need to be. That's, it's one of the big things happening in cybersecurity today. Now, not everyone, even in Sweden, is on the same page. It turns out that Signal is very popular and widely used within the country's armed forces, where staff were recently asked to start specifically using Signal due to its known and proven super secure messaging capabilities. In a letter to the Swedish government, the Swedish Armed Forces wrote that the legislation, that is this, under consideration, could not be realized, quote, without introducing vulnerabilities and backdoors that may be used by third parties, unquote. In other words, the familiar refrain that it's not possible to have it both ways. It's either secure for everyone and from everyone, or it's not truly secure for anyone. The question is, what happens with iMessage and Google Messenger? Apple's, as we know, Apple's shutting down the enabling of new full end-to-end iCloud storage encryption by UK users is one thing. But what happens if Sweden mandates, as they apparently plan to, that all communications occurring within its borders be decryptable? Just over a year ago, it was last February, when we covered Apple's announcement of their PQ3. That was, remember, post-quantum level 3. They created this kind of cockamamie leveling system where Signal they put at level 2 because level 2 didn't have perfect forward secrecy, and they were going to be enabling a dynamic rolling and rekeying of all messages, which gave them not only post-quantum technology, but also so-called level 3, which they just sort of created out of whole cloth. And thus, they were claiming last February that it would be fully state-of-the-art encryption. Okay, so now Sweden says, sorry about that, but we've just unilaterally enacted legislation to reverse, remove, and restrict the privacy rights Swedish citizens have been enjoying with their use of iMessage. We're not going to allow anyone in Sweden to enjoy the benefit of that level of security because, it makes us nervous and it might be abused, even though everybody has it today and has always had it as long as iMessage has been around, right? Because that's always been encrypted. So we know what Signal's going to do. They've made that very clear. And they really have to follow through with with the promise, right? But what will Apple do? On this topic, I solicited some help from ChatGPT's O3 mini model.
Okay. What will Apple do? Is that what you asked it?
No. I worked with it to come up with a good acronym for this mess. And together we came up with one.
Oh, good.
I present NoCrypt. NOCRYPT, which stands for Nationwide Outlawing of Cryptography, Restricting Your Privacy Too.
Wow, that's a good acronym.
Is that good?
Wow. Congress should start using ChatGPT. That's very good.
No crypt.
No crypt.
Nationwide Outlawing of Cryptography, Restricting Your Privacy Too.
That's
so
what
Leo,
it is.
I hope Sweden goes forward with this. I want, we need this resolved. We need, because Apple, what are they going to do? They can't decrypt iMessage. I mean, maybe, but wow. I mean, that's bigger than saying, okay, well, we'll turn off, full end-to-end encryption for iCloud, so you can get, if someone has got iCloud backup on, you'll be able to get into that. But saying we want all your communications decrypted, that's a direct strike, at iMessage. What does Apple do?
Hey, it's Leo Laporte. I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet from Security Now. If you want the whole show, you can get it at our website, twit.tv/SN. Of course, you can subscribe to Security Now on your favorite podcast, or just click one of the links below.
Security Now.